Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome back. I'm Wendy, your host, and this is the Stropology podcast. Um, it's about that time in the Industry Academy. We are about two-thirds of the way through, and there is a lot of records being beaten, like personal records, new best nights, new best weeks, all the things. And so at the moment, I'm in the midst of supporting people in all different ways. But there's a big theme at the moment as well of like leveling up and keeping it sustainable. So, what I want to talk about today is exactly that, the process to keep expanding, but to keep it sustainable. And it's really interesting the way that um, we can react to new levels of income, more ease at work, like things just sort of opening up and, possibilities, like all the things that we know, all the magic that can happen in this industry and the feelings that can come with it. So sometimes when we do expand into like a new level of income and ease and flow and all of those beautiful things, it can also bring with it kind of like the shadow side um, of, for example, here are some common ones. Um, is this gonna last? Is this too good to be true? Like, when is this all gonna fall apart? And there's kind of two things I find that are pretty relevant when leveling up your income and all of that. Um, that's just one example, leveling up your income. It can be expansion in any different way, right? But obviously we're focusing on stripping and this topic for this call. So leveling up can kind of, in my eyes and from my own personal experience, there's two ways that it can kind of fuck up. And obviously, what we want to aim towards is sustainable expansion. So, not just peaks and troughs, like how do we sustain it? And so, one way is like basically getting really top heavy, like a big headed about your success. And we've probably all seen it. We may have stepped into it ourselves. I know I've been there, where it's almost like you feel untouchable. You're like, yeah, my shit don't stink. Like, I'm doing well. It's consistent. And you can kind of get complacent in that. And it's really important to stay grounded, grounding down like a tree, grounding down so you can support the growth. So if you picture that. And so I find it's really important with like each stage of kind of your success leveling up to consciously ground down and not be a dick and not let it get to your head. Because what happens if we get top heavy? You fall on your face. Now, one thing that I find like with leveling up is taking that time to recalibrate, to allow your nervous system, to allow everything to kind of accept the new level, believe it, accept it, and allow it to kind of meld into you as a new reality, but not. There can be this energy almost, if it's like, this is too good to be true, blah, 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 of like frantic, a little bit like, oh, like, got to make this last, like, got to hang on to it. That's the opposite to trust. So it's a really important practice to lean into trusting yourself and the fact that you've put the work in and this is the outcome and you deserve it. And not because you're better now suddenly or anything like that. It's just how it is. And so, really like embodying it and grounding down and being like, cool. And I've thought of like a little analogy, I guess you could say. Um, for example, I don't know why bodybuilding, just say, for example, like a bodybuilder is training and training and training, and they get to the point where they're like super happy with their physique and they're like, cool. And the the thing is, that physique is a an accumulation of discipline and doing all of the small things that count. Because sometimes, so for example, in this example, the bodybuilder, just say they get a bit egotistical and top heavy and they're like, I'm the shit, like my body looks amazing and I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want, and just say they like, start like, I don't know, I'm just making this up as I go, but like go out like, partying or something, and basically like stop focusing on the things that got them there. Like they start eating junk food. They're like, yeah, but my body like, I look like God and blah blah blah. And basically you can just slip off the bandwagon. And the way to climb back up is all of those little nitty gritty, dotting the I's and crossing the T's and doing all of the things. Because sometimes when we get a bit egotistical and we can be like, well, I don't have to do small dances, I don't have to talk to dickheads. Like, I'm someone that only operates with great customers, and kind of forgetting the whole point, which is like you create amazing customers, like you come from this place that is of servitude and like connecting with your customers. We've all probably seen dancers that get around that maybe, inflated and can potentially, or if you've been there yourself, like I'm not giving them the time of day, and like getting impatient, or all these little things. And then like I've seen in my career, like people slip and have to kind of almost find their feet again. And it's okay. Like I've been there myself, and it is a little bit of like, okay, I've got to eat the humble pie and I've got to just do the back to basics stuff. Sometimes it's just those fundamentals that keep you grounded, and avoid that whole top heavy bullshit falling on your face. So that's one thing that can happen when leveling up, is like you kind of like get carried away in that current, and then you kind of like lose your footing and just forget, like, hang on a second, like, yeah, maybe you're still a human being, and maybe the people that you're working with are still human as well, and all of that. Another thing that can happen, which is probably more common, I would say, is just not believing it, like not believing it and wondering like, fuck, I hope this lasts, and that's one side. And another side is like this self-sabotaging. Like you might not feel that it's not going to last, but you might create the scenario that it doesn't last. For example, so often I work with people that have their best weeks or months, and then bang, in a slump, and it's like the rug gets pulled out from under you. Also, I've been there before, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, how did I do that? I've forgotten how to do that. That was a fluke. That wasn't, that was not meant to really happen. I was just lucky. But none of that's true. It's just, again, holding yourself, recalibrating, and accepting and believing that new normal can be a new normal, and it doesn't have to disappear. It doesn't have to not last, because great results can be consistent. I know that a lot of people get annoyed at me for saying that, because I know that the industry is rough and it does have peaks and troughs and things like that. But I can talk from my experience of creating really good consistency for years and years and years, basically till COVID hit. And then, but like I truly believe that. That's why I share what I share. and it can be consistent. It's just adjusting, to things when we need to. Um, so there's like the push pull, oh, everything's amazing, and then suddenly I can't show up to work, or like, whatever can happen, but we can create it unconsciously if we don't truly believe that the results are the new normal. It's like suddenly now all motivation is lost. And what's under that? It's important to look at what's under that, because there's little parts of us that are trying to protect us. They think they're doing the right thing, and it's just in our makeup. It's in our evolutionary makeup to protect us survival. It's like it's a bit dangerous to stand out. It's a bit dangerous to, feel different emotions to what you're used to. Emotions can be addictive. So it's like if you're used to like survival and hustle culture and striving and all that, and then suddenly things are quite easeful. And it's almost like, hang on, where's the catch? Like, where's the camera? Who's going to step out and take everything that you've just created and go, haha, you thought things were good. Well, they're not. And you're fucking foolish for thinking that they could ever be good. That's bullshit. And the sad part is our brain does that to us, but it's trying to protect us. So what's important is like talking to yourself. Talking to yourself super important. No, but like addressing that part and giving it an answer. It just wants an answer, it just wants reassurance. So for me, like I'll give a real life example of recalibrating up to new levels of success. I've had to literally talk to myself. You know what? There's people out there that have seen me talk to myself, like for real. So whatever, I don't even mind. So yeah, talk to myself and let myself know, like, you know what? Like this is okay. Like I get to feel good. I get to feel proud. I get to feel happy. And there can be all these weird emotions mixed in, like guilt, like, oh, I'm doing well and other people aren't, or like all those voices in your head. Oh my God, I sound so crazy, but like from the past of like, just little things like, oh, things that we take on board. I'll give you an example. Like, I remember when I was in about year 5 and someone rang my landline, which is all we had back then. And they said it was like a semi friend. I can't really remember who rang, but they were like, it was a prank. I didn't know till the next day. Oh my God, you're gonna get asked out tomorrow. And I like I definitely wasn't an attractive kid. I was like 3 years below in like size because I'm so tiny and short. Um, and I just couldn't even fathom anyone liking me in that way, like whatever, year 5. But like I got excited and nervous and I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember in the morning, like getting ready for school and trying to, I don't know, look nice or just be prepared. No, it was a joke. Joke on me. Everyone's laughing, So it's like, and then you can tell yourself, how fucking stupid of me, And so these things can happen in life that compound and compound. And like, so when things truly good do happen, it's like, hang on, where's the catch? And so it is so important as part of the recalibrating to allow yourself to accept that things get to be good. They get to be easeful. They get to feel good. And just because it feels good, it doesn't mean it's going to get taken away. It actually means you get to enjoy it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. So, yeah, I hope you have a great week and I'll see you next week.